Okay, so when you hear the name Lewis Hamilton, what's the first thing that comes to mind? For most of us, it's that 7-time Formula One world champ, right? Just a blur of speed and absolute precision on the racetrack. But, there is a whole other story going on behind that helmet. We're talking royalty, we're talking Hollywood, and get this, a pretty surprising reluctance to even get behind the wheel. So yeah, let's get into it. I mean, it's a great question, isn't it? You'd think that somebody who lives their life at 200 miles per hour would maybe just want a quiet, simple existence. But as we're about to find out, Lewis Hamilton's ambition definitely does not stop when the engine does. So in this explainer, we're going to look at 4 really distinct sides of Sir Lewis. First, the knight. Then, the surprisingly reluctant everyday driver. After that, the business mogul. And finally, the aspiring movie producer. And that last one, well, let me tell you, it comes with a fantastic story. All right, first things first, let's talk about that title, Sir Lewis Hamilton. Now, this isn't just some honorary nickname they throw around, it is a formal knighthood, and the story of how he got it is honestly something straight out of a movie.
Just look at this. This captures an absolutely incredible full-circle journey. So as a 13-year-old racing prodigy at the McLaren factory, Hamilton meets the then Prince Charles. And when Charles asks him, "So what are your dreams?" young Lewis tells him he wants to be a Formula One world champion. Fast forward decades later, and it's that very same royal, now King Charles, who's bestowing on him one of the highest honors in all of Britain.
And what really makes this moment even more personal is what happened right there during the ceremony. King Charles apparently leaned in and said to him, "You've come a long way," which shows he actually remembered that conversation with a 13-year-old kid all those years ago. What an incredible moment of recognition.
Of course, getting there is a whole other thing. Hamilton described the ceremony as just incredibly formal, almost like it was choreographed. You got to walk 3 steps, then turn 90 degrees, take another 4 steps, turn left, bow, take 2 steps forward, and then, finally, you take the knee. He even admitted he was a little nervous that the sword might be just a bit too sharp.
And the family's reaction to the news? Absolutely perfect. The very first thing his dad asked when he found out was, "So, do I have to call you sir now?" Hamilton jokes that he doesn't make his dad do it, but his niece and nephew, they have fully embraced it. They now proudly call him Sir Uncle.
All right, now for our second story, and this one reveals a huge paradox about Lewis Hamilton. You would assume that one of the greatest drivers in the history of the world just loves being behind the wheel, right? Well, you'd be wrong. See, it all comes down to the difference between racing and driving. On the track, he is a fierce competitor who lets his performance do all the talking. But on public roads, he hates it. He says he finds traffic incredibly stressful and would much, much rather be a passenger. As he puts it, he only likes driving when he's going fast. In fact, when he's back home, he drives an old Mini Cooper just to go down memory lane in his hometown. And hey, to put his day job into perspective, just think about this. He once lost 7 pounds of body weight during a single race. The physical and mental strain of F1 is just astronomical. So when you compare that to the boring stress of a traffic jam, you can kind of see why he'd rather just hand over the keys. So Hamilton's ambition, it goes way beyond the racetrack. He is strategically building an empire in both sports and entertainment, and he's using his platform for something much bigger. For example, he's now a part owner of the NFL's Denver Broncos, and he's also founded his own production company, which is called Dawn Apollo Films. But these aren't just little passion projects. They are very calculated moves with a really clear mission.
And here is that mission, right in his own words. He's using these big ventures to push for diversity. He sees a major lack of Black ownership and equity, especially in these massive organizations like the NFL, and he wants to be part of that change, creating opportunities and telling more diverse stories.
And this brings us right to his passion for film. It's been a love of his whole life, but it also led to something he considers one of his biggest career regrets.
So, what could a 7-time world champion possibly regret? Well, it involves Tom Cruise, fighter jets, and an impossible choice.
This is such a great story. So Hamilton is a huge fan of the original Top Gun. He literally begged Tom Cruise for a part in the sequel, Maverick. He said he'd even be a janitor in the background, he didn't care. And Cruise actually came through. He offered him a role as one of the pilots. But the filming schedule clashed directly with the intense final stages of his Formula One championship fight. He had to make the call, and he chose his racing career.
But here we go again. The story comes full circle. Now, through his own production company, he is working on a massive Formula One movie starring Brad Pitt. And the director? Joseph Kosinski, the very same director from Top Gun Maverick. So while he missed his chance to be a pilot on screen, he's now shaping the entire story of his own sport for Hollywood.
So he's a knight of the British Empire, he's an NFL owner, he's a movie producer, and oh yeah, he's one of the greatest drivers to ever live. It really makes you wonder, after conquering all of this, what could possibly be the next lap in the incredible journey of Sir Lewis Hamilton.
Hello, it's Rod's friend here, Gino from Real Everyday English. Sorry for interrupting your video. I just want to make a quick recommendation that you subscribe to Rodrigo's channel. He's an amazing guy, he's so humble, he's so dedicated, and he creates absolutely fantastic content. See you people soon. Bye-bye. God bless.